I can't believe I'm doing this again, but I had a really good conversation with some of my pack members today. If you happen to be one of the few people hanging out, like, hi, mom, that's coming in and checking out everything that we've been doing. I'm really excited that you're here. Oh, this is funny. I'm turning this on. I messed this up somehow. Whoop. Okay. Haha. It's great. Laura's learning, making fun of myself today as well. But I have been traveling to a lot of events lately. I think I spent like 4 full days in the month of September inside the state of Florida. But I'm here and I'm really excited. I've gone to a lot of conferences, and something I have learned recently, and this is just, fair warning, is kind of just like a rant and chat to myself, was that lately I've been hearing the term internet marketers a lot. And I don't know if anyone who is, mom, watching this or who happens to watch the replay has ever used the term internet marketer to describe themselves as a professional. But it's actually a term I only heard about like in the last 6 months. Like, I wasn't really sure what it was the first time I heard it. I was like, oh, it makes sense. And I thought, okay, you do marketing for internet. That's weird. Why wouldn't you just say digital marketer or that you're an online marketer? But okay, you use the term internet marketer. Maybe it's a new term. And hello, Hussein. The pieces of like hearing internet marketer caught me off guard at first, and then I kept hearing it and hearing it and hearing it. And I admit that, in my ripe young age of 33, there's often, a 10 or 15 year age gap amongst my peers in the digital marketing space. So sometimes I'll meet, these internet marketer veterans, or just like individuals that have been around for a while, or people that have recently switched, or there's this whole up and coming generation of people that like understand TikTok and YouTube and these emerging platforms like Ramble and all this stuff that like are so much smarter than me in 1.5 million ways. But it was just something I was venting about to my team this morning. And I was like, I'm going to come on and see if I'm the only person that thinks this, because half of the team had never heard the term internet marketer before either. Like, legit. They were like, what is an internet marketer? Like, it makes sense by definition, but by like familiarity, there's none. Like, it's not a term any of us know or use. Now, again, I've stated I'm in my 30s, lower end of the 30s, and I have a lot of pack members that range the full spectrum of age, right? Like, we have individuals in their 40s, in their 50s. We have a lot of young individuals in their 20s, early 20s. We're excited because we're going to have our first high school intern during the holiday break. But needless to say, this term of internet marketers, which I thought was a novel, like fun, catchy way, is actually a term that a lot of people have used. And more recently, at all these different conferences and events that I've gone to, where there tends to be a more mature crowd, I'm hearing internet marketer more and more as a defined term. And I just wanted to call it out. Like, now, whenever I hear someone say that they're an internet marketer, I'm like, cool, you're a dinosaur. You used to do marketing and now you teach marketing. And my assumptions, and I know they're not polite, that's what I was like, I'm for sure going to lose friends, and like, forgive me if this is offending you. I'm assuming if this is offending you, you're probably in the United States. But whether you're not, and this isn't offensive, it was just I think it's a term that needs to kind of disappear from the language because it's really limiting. Like, I think internet marketer makes sense as a defined job role, career area of study when the internet was just on desktop. We have digital marketing because it encompasses not just desktop. We have phones, we have smart devices, we have smart glasses. Like, where your marketing expands so much further than just the internet. Like, we have apps, we have offline events, but you're providing digital marketing assets that are different from traditional marketing, which is your print, your radio, your TV, your billboards. And I think that term internet marketer, I think, could be dating you. So I would just invite anyone that does use the term internet marketer and you're talking to people under the age of 35 to maybe consider changing it. I mean, maybe you're okay with it and you want to, like, you do you and call yourself an internet marketer, but like, it's just really polarizing when I didn't know what it means. And I consider myself pretty smart. I mean, I guess like I don't find myself in the lower 5% of people in there. Like, I'm always learning, don't get me wrong, always learning, but just like it caught me off guard. And when I've asked questions about it further, just like to be fully transparent and honest, like I've had really rude and disappointing interactions with individuals because like I don't know internet marketing. I wasn't around for the affiliate marketing space. And when everyone was doing like SEO keywords and hiding them in the footer and putting them at 0 size font and all in white with a white background, like those are tactics. And so the more I've come to understand who and what internet marketers are, the more I associate, at least me personally, that they are dinosaurs using old tactics that were just quick tricks. And they're always looking for a silver bullet versus actually building and scaling a brand. Of course, that's not true for everyone. It's just the assumptions that I'm starting to bulk people into. And that often, more times than not, they're butt heads. This is definitely not everyone, but I have met some really big butt heads that claim themselves as internet marketers that are totally dismissive of anyone and everyone that doesn't understand the world that they live in, that doesn't know who they are out the gate. Like, who is this God? Oh my gosh, you've had such a successful company. I must know who you are, left, right, and up center. But I'm like, I didn't follow the Russell Brunsons or the courses or read all these books that a lot of entrepreneurs did consume, especially 10 or 15 years ago. That wasn't my personal introduction to marketing. I learned marketing by doing marketing. You know, I got to work for the Walt Disney Company. I got to work alongside really major university brands. I worked on actual accounts and I learned by doing for the most part. And then of course there were individuals that I followed. Like, yeah, I did read Alex Hormozi's book. And I'm excited that like my friend Dave Albano gave me another, like his follow-up book. Like I'm excited to consume that content. But the way I learned marketing is not the same as a lot of people that I meet at some conferences or some successful entrepreneurs learned. And the interactions are not great. It's like I've been bullied. I have been condescended to. I have been dismissed as a business owner because I didn't read the 4-hour work week, or I didn't take this certain course, or because I haven't drunk this specific Kool-Aid. Like, it's okay that some people have, and it's okay that some people haven't. There's a lot of courses and references that I go to get my digital marketing knowledge that others don't use. And I'm learning all the time, this whole next generation, they're using different software platforms. And like, literally I learned about like Platzi 2 weeks ago. And it's a digital marketing resource for Spanish speakers. Like, there's constantly evolving resources for us to learn. And there's no one single solution and no one way to learn better than anything else. But I think there is I'm not going to say epidemic, but there's definitely something going on, at least in my experiences, that older individuals in marketing that claim themselves as internet marketers are falling into this trope, this stereotype that I've already learned everything I need to learn. I'm not going to learn anything new. I can't navigate the Meta ads platform. Oh my God, TikTok shops, what? You're telling me that there's competitors to YouTube? No way. Those don't exist. Or aware of anything. I mean, Threads, for example, Threads blew up. Like, maybe they're chasing specific objects, or I don't know. It's this world where they've found their success, and now their new success is defined by teaching new people about their old success. And of course, there's foundational principles. You can't just open up a business overnight. Like, you grow a business, you learn how to manage a team, you learn how all the other things that go into being a small business owner and scaling. That's a huge topic. But it's interesting listening to individuals using that term specifically as an internet marketer talk about high level stuff and then like nuanced tactics where I'm like, yeah, but okay, I get it. Oh, it's new and shiny for you, but like, this isn't necessarily new, but okay, good. I'm glad it worked. Maybe, you know, what's common sense isn't commonly executed on, but I don't know if anyone else is feeling this. I don't know if anyone else is getting like bullied into like these uncomfortable conversations or straight up ignored. Like, I have been talked over, and I talk a lot. So I get why people would want to interrupt and like shut me down. But there have been times where I've been introducing myself and in the middle of a conversation, and this group of individuals will literally cut me off, dismiss me from a conversation. And I was like, wait, am I invisible? I've had these experiences where I'm literally like in the middle of a conversation thinking, oh, maybe I didn't add anything of value, or, you know, I have to build my know, like, and trust that I have a reason to be in this room. but I don't know if it's like this protective bubble where they're like, hey, we don't want to expose that we don't know anything new. We know everything foundationally, which is really important. They're great at mindset, great at biz ops, great at so many pieces, and foundationally are so important. But I'm seeing, and it's definitely not everyone, it's just like a few bad apples are defining this like era now of marketers for me. And like, I know it. I know there's gonna be some people that are gonna be really mad at me for saying this, but I'm just being honest. They're defining themselves as the guru, the omnipotent, like the person that like is like evangelized forever, that of course you must know who I am. Didn't you know me? I did this. I've been so successful. And then I'm like, no, I don't. I'm sorry. Who are you? How can I help? What are you working on now? And it's like resting on their laurels of past success. And like, I'm just like, I don't understand. Can we like, let's move past this. Like, let's have a real dialogue of what's working today versus what worked before. And I don't know if I'm being like excluded out of it because I'm challenging those questions or I'm bringing up topics like talking about TikTok shop. Like I'll bring it up and then it's like a blank faces. And I'm not trying to embarrass anyone whatsoever. I'm like, hey, let's talk about TikTok shops. Like, are you looking at it for other marketplaces? How are you finding the engagement with increasing on and it's not a channel that they're diving in, which is okay. We can't do everything. I definitely don't do everything. Oh my gosh, Twitter, I'm useless. I tried. I'm so bad at it. Like, but when someone claims to be this all-powerful individual, all knowing everything, I don't know if it's like a great thing to say and do because like there's really smart people that are coming up in the digital marketing space. And I'm not like, I mean, I think I'm pretty smart. I'm really happy with what we're able to achieve for our clients. And I love what I do. And I meet so many really smart people. And I pose the question of like, are the people that identify as internet marketers dinosaurs? Because I'm secretly afraid that as a digital marketer, I'm about to be a dinosaur. Because there are these 18-year-olds, these 20-year-olds. I was at Vid Summit in Dallas a few weeks ago. I was meeting high schoolers that were so intelligent, people testing these new strategies like I hadn't even thought of because they're coming from a different lens and they're not beholden to these frameworks that have been drilled inside our heads. And I'm just like, okay, I need to be mindful because as a digital marketer, I'm about to be a dinosaur. So if there's someone that's an internet marketer, I'm like, oh, you're definitely a dinosaur for some people. And I just like, I want to push the boundary of like this evolution, like stop calling yourself an internet marketer. And if you tell me specifically that you're an internet marketer, I'm going to make the assumptions that you're dated, you like affiliate marketing style techniques, you're looking for a silver bullet always, and you are not learning very many new things now, but you are teaching a lot of things. So learning less and teaching more. And it's great that people can teach stuff, but like I grew up in an era where like YouTube was evolving, and now like for me, like I knew in high school, I knew in college, anything that was printed in a textbook, unless it was a foreign language or history or maybe like foundational principles of science. But even then I would argue if it had made its way to being printed into a textbook, it had passed so many lines of scrutiny, it had so much time between when the author finished and when it arrived at my desk, that it could probably have outdated information. And for college, for sure, because each year, like with my business law classes, right, we had to get the next updated version because case law evolved. And by the time it was in front of me, it was already outdated. So like before people were reading textbooks, then they were doing courses. For me, a lot of the times when someone's like, hey, check out this course, I'm like, cool. Like courses for me aren't the place I go to learn the fastest and quickest things that I can do to improve my team and my own digital marketing. I go to Twitter because it takes so much time to write a book, publish a book. It takes a lot of time to publish a course, to film a course, to script it out, to do all the editing, to have the landing page, all those things that go into it. By the time the course comes live, I don't know how many of you have seen this, but I've definitely seen it where the stuff is outdated. Like I'm literally watching a course. I'm like, that's not the background platform whatsoever. And like, I love you, Kasem. You're amazing. You've got a 3-day challenge that's coming out for your Google ads, you versus Google. So brilliant. You're taking your book and then opening it to a challenge because not everyone read the book, but we bought the book, but you're going to have it as like real like implementations, but also because, you know, you've done past courses that talk about campaigns that have evolved. Like you can't help it. The platforms have evolved. And so now you're saying, hey, since I printed this book, let's talk about real applications. Let's talk about what minor tweaks and stuff have changed. Like the learning environment for digital marketing is constantly evolving. And it just boggles my mind that the terminology people are using to define themselves in the world of marketing is staying stagnant. So I have met some internet marketers a lot in the last like 8 weeks because of how many conferences that I've gone to. And, what they're using and where they're deferring to are these places of general knowledge. They're saying generally this is true and it's great. It's really important stuff, but it's still not marketing stuff. It's business up stuff. It's scaling stuff. It's how to be a successful entrepreneur with things that work for marketing, and they know enough about marketing, absolutely, but they're in positions where they're not doing anymore. So if you are learning anything about digital marketing, like please follow the people that are still doing media buying, follow the people that are writing the emails, follow the people that are hands in the trenches. And, at a lot of conferences, you'll have people, and like even me, totally. I'm not the one that's always talking. Like I'll talk about Pinterest, but I'm not the one in Pinterest on a daily basis. We have a team that does this. They are so much smarter on Pinterest than I personally am. But so like when I'm saying this, is like, I even acknowledge my challenge. Like I speak on stages, I get to share a lot of this information. I get to translate from what my team is doing on a daily basis in the daily grind to share to the public. And I get to talk about like case studies that just happened. And if you're going to conferences and you're consuming this information, like you need to be diligent about who you're taking content information from. If they're talking about a case study that is more than 6 months old, they could be talking about something that's completely irrelevant. For the Facebook side, I can't tell you how many times I see Facebook ads, YouTube channel, or like Facebook ad courses and webinars that are talking about stuff. I'm like, that's the old ads platform. Like, I don't know. What are you talking about? That stuff doesn't even exist. And I feel bad, but like even there was a subject that came to my attention on LinkedIn. Someone was talking about how like hashtags are dead. And I'm like, people are making these bold statements and we're assuming and accepting stuff to be truth. And I'm like, for this individual that said hashtags are dead for social media, I'm like, are they though? Like, how could they possibly be dead when if you go to the creator studio inside Instagram, and if you're looking at how Instagram tells you to find more success with your Instagram reels, and they have an equal real estate for trending audio and trending hashtags, how could Instagram give up that much real estate in front of billions of eyes for a topic that's dead? I'm getting heated and I feel bad, but I get really bullied into submission of accepting that like I am inadequate because I didn't read specific books, or I didn't buy specific courses, or I didn't drink the Russell Brunson Kool-Aid, or I'm not a member of ClickFunnels, or any of these other pieces that were defined by a different generation of what it means to be capable at digital marketing. And part of that is, we're an easy way for me to spot it out now. If someone tells me, oh yeah, I'm an internet marketer, I'm sorry. I love you as a person because I want to love every single human being on this planet. But like, I'm already checked out because you have now told me you are a dinosaur, you haven't evolved, and you're stuck on something that worked for you before. And, it's totally cool if that's not everyone's jam. That's fine. I'm acknowledging this is me ranting because like it's been weeks and weeks and weeks of conferences. And I'm just like, I'm amazed by how, and don't get me wrong, they're incredibly successful teaching stuff that's outdated, foundationally amazing, but they're disguising it as marketing because there's some marketing elements to it, but it's really biz ops. It's how to be a successful, scalable company that you can exit one day. So anyway, sorry, I'm venting about this. I know there are going to be people that are upset with me, and I'm sorry. I'm not calling out anyone specifically. Like if you are in my cell phone and I'm texting you, or we've had a personal conversation, I promise you it's not you. I'm talking about people that like I don't talk to because either they have decided and shown me in person, I am not interested in hearing anything you have to say, you baby marketer. I'm like, oh, thank you. You think I look so young, or whatever reason it is. Cause like somehow people think I'm like under 30, which I'm like, I'm here for it. I love that. Or like, I'll get a lot that people think I'm in my 40s. It's less easier to swallow, but I'm like, oh, it must be because I'm so smart, right? Hopefully. Oh my God, please be that answer. But for anyone, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, I hope Lauren's not talking about me. If we're friends and like we engage in any capacity, I'm 100% not talking about you. It's the people that I'm talking about where like we might have tried to engage in a conversation and then literally you turned your body and close the conversation to me because I said, oh, I don't know that book, or I don't know who that author is. I've met really, really smart people, by the way, that are like in this like different generation of digital marketing, and they don't identify as internet marketers. Maybe they do, they haven't told me. And I've confided them, and I'm like, I don't read these books. Like, I don't take these courses. For me, the best way I learn is by doing and trying and like working with a team and collaborating, because that's just how I learn really, really well. And we've had this dialogue, and I said, I don't know why people get so mad at me. Like, why are you taking it personally that I didn't read these books, or I don't know who this author is, or that I don't recognize you? Like, what? I'm sorry, I don't. Do you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to tell you to your face, oh yeah, I bought your course, I've seen your stuff? What? That's the most disingenuous thing. And I hope to never be that way. I try to be transparent with everything that I do. So again, I hope I'm not offending anyone specifically on this. If you are considering, maybe it's you, I would just invite you to consider, like, don't call yourself an internet marketer, because I'm pushing you into the category of you're a dinosaur. If you are in the marketing space, like, I think it's really important to constantly be learning. I think it was Gandhi had a quote that said something like, the day you get old is the day you stop learning. And I just think there's a lot of dinosaur internet marketers out there that stopped learning at least marketing stuff. And, you know, it's okay if that's still your business and you find success of teaching people basic marketing stuff. Okay, there's a total need for that in the marketplace. There's a lot of new business owners that don't even know where to start. We don't learn this stuff in the US education system, at least not in any instances where I've come across. Basic funnel building. What does the customer value journey look like? How do you interact with your customers? Because like, we don't talk about treating customers in 3 buckets. I look at all customers in 3 buckets. 1, are they a prospect, never bought? 2, did they buy from you once? 3, did they buy from you more than once? Those are how we talk to people. And I got this from Jimmy Kim on Twitter, because he's a really brilliant individual that, you know, he's had some courses and stuff, but he's not on this tour of like, I'm an internet marketer. He's a young guy that created a tech company that's all about email marketing. And that's what he preaches and teaches, because he lives it. It's his oxygen. And there are some people that I have met, some people I've seen on stages at the conferences I go to, where their oxygen is making money and selling on stage versus actually talking about updated resources. Like, and maybe it's because I'm really fortunate. I get to go to a lot of events. I get to travel for conferences, but I'm seeing some of the same content. And I'm like, yeah, that worked really well 2 years ago. Why aren't we still talking about this? Like, can we, like, I'm trying to learn something new. I'm trying to learn the next iteration of activating these marketing principles. And like, I don't know if it's because we default to what's easy, or like we hide behind what we know works. But right now I'm on a war vent against people that call themselves internet marketers and then get offended at me because I didn't read their books. I don't know or recognize who they are, and that they may walk on water to their community. And it's amazing. So happy for them. You got 40,000 like people in your DMs. That's incredible. I'm not one of them. You can't just assume that everyone knows and like breathes the same aura that you have. And I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this. I don't know if if you're not reading the books or not taking the courses, but you're still doing amazing, keep doing it. We learn better by mistakes. Yes, there's a lot of great course creators and a lot of great educators out there that talk about updates, that talk about relevancy, that talk about market changes. Like, how does a recession go into someone's plan? How does next year is an election year in the United States? If that's not being taken into account when someone's talking about media buying or marketing, like, you have to sift through the noise of an election year. Do you know how hard that is as a marketer? Election years are atypical years, and you need to infuse a unique marketing strategy to it. And I don't hear that being talked about by a lot of these internet marketers, which is where I like defer to them being as dinosaurs. Or I'll see campaign success that was talked about pre-pandemic or during pandemic. We're not post-pandemic, but we're in a different era. You know, for the Taylor Swift fans out there, we're in a different era of marketing, and you have to adapt and pivot the language. Like, there are people that'll say, oh yeah, you need to design for second zero. 100%. If you're doing social media content, if you're doing any video content, you need to design for second zero. What that means is you have to have something on a thumbnail or an Instagram reel cover or in the first 0 of a second that's going to capture someone's attention. And then you want to retain that attention for the next 3 to 5 seconds with a hook. that's just formulaic, successful, foundational. How do you capture attention? But I'll hear individuals say, oh yeah, we have gnat-like attention. Everyone has ADHD. They're not paying attention to marketing. If you don't have boobs on it, like no one's going to pay attention. And like you have to hook them really quickly. That is true. But also what is true, that we're in a binge consumption society. You know, I've been watching Devil's Plan. I have forsaken sleep because I can't watch just one episode of this show. I have to watch multiples. So if you capture my attention, I will give you my attention. You can retain my attention. It is not true to say that, oh, you only get someone's attention for 5 seconds, period. No way. Not in 2023. Definitely not during the pandemic. You have people that are willing to watch a whole season of Bridgerton without peeing. You have people that are re-watching whole series in a weekend. You cannot tell me that everyone has ADHD and that like you only have their attention for so long. You can tell me you have to capture their attention and then you earn their retention. And so it's just like, I don't know. I've learned a lot. I've gotten to listen to some really smart people. Most tend to be younger that I respect the most of the type of content because they're testing stuff I wouldn't have thought about. And like, you know, there's this guy, Preston Place. I think he's like 23. I don't know. Maybe, forgive me. He looks really young. But he was talking about how he built his company of 100 people and things that he was doing. It's like, oh, that makes so much sense. Because he started with a remote team. He started his company during a pandemic. So there's different principles that a lot of us who have different experiences don't even get to. And so, Josh, I appreciate you like acknowledging that this is helpful because otherwise I'm just like, I'm ranting. But if you are like a new agency and you're starting out, like literally the best advice I could give you is what area do you want to learn? I think conferences are incredible for business development because you're going to find potential new connections and potential new clients. There's going to be a foundational amount of information that you're going to learn, but you have to be careful of the trap of you're going to learn the same stuff at most of the conferences. Like there's not a lot of differentiation between marketing conferences out there. Just being honest. And if there's an area of focus you want to go deep on, email or Facebook ads or creative or, you know, CRM or CRO, whatever that area of focus, try to find a local conference. It doesn't have to be local to you, but I'm talking about like an Ohio conference, a Kansas conference, a Seattle, Washington conference, a Charlotte conference, something that's not one of the big $5,000 ticket events, but something that's like between like maybe $80 to $1,000, maybe even your local chamber of commerce, where it's real humans that are still doing, and they're not these agents-backed speakers, and that are talking about subjects with information that's post June 2023. So like definitely go to the big marketing events. If you're like traffic and conversions, I love traffic and conversions. For me, that's like summer camp. I get to see a lot of my friends and I get to see a lot of really, really smart speakers. But also I see sometimes repetitive stuff that I've seen at Social Media Marketing World or other conferences because it's successful stuff that maybe not everyone jumps to. But why I love traffic conversions more is because watching the content, fine, you can watch the replays, but you can't replay being in the room. Vid Summit, amazing. I loved it. I was in a YouTube only conference. I was not surrounded by many marketers. I was surrounded by a lot of creators, and I got a different perspective because they're operating their business in a completely different way than I am. And I cannot tell you the amount of energy I got from that lobby. So like I LobbyCon, like I'll buy the ticket and I'll be in the lobby most of the time and I'll watch the replays. And if you're looking like as an agency, if you're trying to grow or scale your agency, Scott Cunningham has had a really successful model that he's built his agency side, and he gives a lot of valuable content in a free Facebook group he has. For me, my best reference of where I learn the most right now, I've had an agency for 5.5 years. We've grown to a really successful team. I like Twitter. I like learning from Twitter. I like following the doers less than the owners. Maybe they're like working on SaaS and stuff, but when someone has gone from doing to teaching, I look at all of their content with a grain of salt. And I'm like, okay, can you show me right now? Or do you need someone else to show you? And if you need someone else to show you, great. You're going to give me only so much information from me directly. I want to get access to the next person. But anyways, this is me. venting, saying that like, if you identify as an internet marketer and you've been a butthead to me, like, I'm trying not to be a bean counter and say like, oh, I remember your face, but like, it's really annoying, and it's a bullish topic, and everyone has an opinion that they can share. Everyone brings a unique perspective, and the assumption that I must know who you are or I'm invalidated as a participant in this discussion is ludicrous. And the requirements to be considered qualified in marketing should never be defined by specific books or specific programs you read, because those are ones that you're familiar with. There's a generation of marketers that are coming that grew up with mixed reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality that a lot of us of a certain age have had zero experience with. If you aren't ready to adapt and learn from these individuals that bring that fresh perspective, you are 100% a dinosaur. What happened to the dinosaurs? They're extinct, but they're still talked about. Yeah, absolutely. Like, they're in museums. But like, if you're trying to become an artifact or someone who like is preserved in a museum or some random Hall of Fame, awesome, do you. But if you're trying to build a brand and like a legacy and have influence and stuff, like, open your eyes up to so many smarter people. Like, again, I'm just going back to like, because it hasn't just happened to me. Like, I don't mind it. You can dismiss me all day long. My ego won't hurt. I've got an awesome husband, an amazing mom who will listen to me all day long. But I'm seeing this like young talent, 23-year-olds, 27-year-olds that are in it every single day. And they're not wearing this Gucci loud outfit or driving this crazy Porsche, but they've got a team of 100, or they've got a team of like 17 people full-time and growing and in the grind. But because they look young, or because they don't know specific phrases that you use that can be archaic, it doesn't mean you should dismiss them. And I've seen it time and time again happen in front of me. I've seen it happen to me. And this is just me saying, if I see you do it, I'm going to call you a dinosaur to your face and just be like, cool, it was really great meeting you. I'm going to start a conversation with someone who appreciates my time and most likely add value to my discussion. So this is me venting. I'm so sorry for ranting about this. To anyone that listened, wow, I really appreciate you as a human, because I was like, oh, people are going to be so mad at me. But like, it's dumb. Like, there's really smart people out there. If you're not on Twitter learning for certain stuff, like send me a message. I'll tell you exactly who do I read, who do I follow. And also, actually, I think I got this from Cosm on the perpetual traffic. But if you are looking at who do you want to learn from, ask them who they learn from. Anyone that doesn't, if you're a coach and you don't have a coach, like that's ego. Like, even Kobe Bryant, even Michael Jordan, all the best players always have a coach. And they always have someone that they learn from. And the assumption that I'm above it, and not me, God, I hope, please don't ever let me be in that space. Oh my gosh, I hope this, and if I've ever given off that impression, I apologize. I sincerely apologize. But you always want to be learning, and you always want to be transparent of who and what you're learning from, right? Like, you want to know Goodreads. I share everything that I'm reading. Like, it's a lot of young adult books, but I think it's a really transparent social media platform. You want to see, I can show you, I didn't read these books. So, okay, so what? Now what? Move on. But ask them, like, who are they following? Who are they learning from? John Loomer, Jonloomer, one of my favorite people that I follow for meta ad strategies. He's amazing. And I'm happy to talk about people that are in the trenches that I'm learning from. And if you're following someone that you're learning a lot from, I invite you to ask them, who are you studying from? Who are you learning from? So that you can also learn with them. And then what's great is, like, so let's say, this individual is learning from this host of people. You get to learn how they concentrate that information and distill it down for you. But like, okay, maybe he's learning from those people and he's spending, $300,000 a year to be in a mastermind that I don't have access to. But I can see like what programs they're working on. Like, okay, these are brands that are doing at least $50 million a year. That makes sense. He's learning from them. Now he's learning for his business and can tell me what I'm trying to do for an exit for a $20 million business or a $5 million business. So anyways, okay. Rant over. You internet marketer dinosaurs. I'm so sick of you. It's just like, check your privilege. Be open-minded that, gosh, are there really smart people? And if I see you dismiss myself, I'll walk away. But if, like, more importantly, if I see you dismiss a younger individual in the trenches again, who's asking a question authentically because you gave an acronym that they don't understand and you refuse to help them, that is your ignorance, and I don't have time for it. Absolutely. Like, Josh, I appreciate you being on here. Oh my gosh, you VR, AR, like, there's so many cool things. And I know people like ditch the Quest or like that is like not cool. You should look at like PepsiCo and Doritos and all these activations. Like, it's going to be a really great topic and great exploratory brand offerings. People aren't going to compete against, but like, it's going to be really successful for those brands that jump in on it, that can jump in on it because they brought younger minds or minds that are like open to receiving and testing and learning. Like, let me ignore the age component. I have met some really smart people that have had a change of life to their business. A lot of moms that were maybe doing something different before, like one of our strongest pack members was a farmer before she joined our team. Like, she had other jobs, of course, but like, when you have people that are going into a career shift or they're new to a career, they are going to observe and learn so much more than an individual who has to course correct or has to relearn a system because, oh, now, Yahoo Mail and Gmail are suspending all email accounts that haven't been logged into for 2 years. Okay, now I need to see, how does that impact my deliverability and how do I do my list maintenance? There's things that are constantly evolving. And it's just that if you fall into the category of like, I'm not going to move, you're a T-Rex with tiny little arms and you're a dinosaur to me. And I appreciate you as a human, but we are not each other's people. So yeah, rant over. Sorry for venting. It's just like 8 weeks of conferences, and there was someone at every single one. I was like, what is this? Is this like a pandemic? I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to nip this contagion in the butt, and I'm not. So anyways, thank you all. Mom, if you watched, love you.